Next talk is about the pasta. Yeah, the pasta. So actually, this is a partial tear of the articular side, right? Actually, the pasta first described is mentioned in the young people, but right now they call pasta everywhere if you have articular side, right? So this is a partial tear of the articular side. Yeah, this is classified by Elman and Schneider. Okay. So how to manage the pasta? How to diagnose? How to manage conservative, or when is the surgery needed, and when and how to repair it? Does it always end up with full thickness or tendinous repair? Okay. So for me, I differentiate the articular side tear into three parts: degenerative, okay, like old age. Yeah. So in the cuff tear, aging, rotator cuff, they always start with the articular side, right? You saw a lot of articular side tear. Sometimes they are no symptoms. You can see them from MRI. From trauma, this is in the young, especially in the overhead athletes, right? Internal impingement, they can cause articular side tear of the rotator cuff. Another one is the fake pasta. Fake pasta means you see it from MRI, but when you get in the joint, you did not see it, right? This is very common in the frozen shoulder patient, right? Like this articles. So you see that from MRI, you can see the white signal in the tendon. But many times when you get in the joint, you cannot see any lesion, right? Sometimes it's the intratendinous tendinosis, but you're thinking this is the pasta lesion. So most time we don't need to do anything, right? So for the young pasta, in the elderly pasta, we approach the patient in different way. Okay. So for the young patient, if a traumatic injury, and if the tear is extended more than 50%, most of the time you need to do something, right? So this is the partial tear. You have articular side, bursal side, and intratendinous is totally different. I think the pasta and bursal side tear is different etiology, right? The bursal side tear almost always have something on the roof. In my experience, they always have some spur on the top that make wear and tear process, but the pasta is not correlated with the impingement syndrome. Okay. So if the torn is more than 50%, I need to do something. That's two ways. You can do the inside to repair, or you can do the transcendent repair, or you take down the pasta. Okay. So for me, nowadays, I try, if the patient is young patient, good quality tendon, I try to save the rotator cuff on the bursal side. Okay. So I showing you this technique. I prefer the V-chap position for my rotator cuff repair, and we do some decompression if the patient have the bursal side or the patient have the impingement side. Okay. So this is a good patient. She is very active. She's a doctor. She's 50 years old. She's very active in sports, right? She do a lot of weight training. And I conserved her for a year. She's not getting better, and she cannot do weight training. Okay. You see the MRI, she has the articular side tear, the rotator cuff. Once we get in, there's a lot of inflammation, and you can see that the patient have the bad, articular side. At that time, I make the transcendent. I put the anchor through the tendon, right? And then I make a free needle, okay, like that. Okay, free needle percutaneous to the junction between the tear, okay, and the rotator cuff, like that. Okay. So after that, I switch my camera to the subclavian. So this technique, you need to get in the joint and get outside the joint, in and out. Yeah, like that. And finally, we make knot tying and suture. You see the nice, okay, coverage attachment on the articular side, right, without taking down, right? So I found that this kind of patient, they have the very fast recovery, okay? And I found that if I can do the repair without damage to the cuff, that should be good. So we developed the technique. This patient, 40 years old, also the same. He's really active, yeah, in sports, and this time he has the history of fall. Okay, and then we put the anchor to the rotator cuff interval without any damage to the tendon. Right, we coming from the rotator interval, but my ankle will be very vertical. Okay, and then you pass 4 sutures like that, and tie the knot on the dorsal side. Okay, and then you make suture bridge like that. Okay, so you have nice compression on the articular side, and also nice compression from the dorsal side. Okay, like that. So this is the repair. You see that we have knot tying, and also we have the suture bridge outside the joint. Yeah. So this is the pictures before and after the repair. I put the camera in the joint again. Yeah. So this time I did not make a step incision in my cup at all. I come in from the front, but my ankle will aiming very vertical, okay, to the footprint of the rotator cuff. Okay. So, and we found that this is only 11 days after surgery, and this one is 2 weeks, I think. This one is 11 days. I feel that the patient have less pain and very fast recovery. Yeah. So I think we did not damage anything. We just reattach the cup back. If I do take down, I will not allow the patient to move like this. Yeah. So this is a way of the pasta repair without any damage to the rotator cuff. So for the elderly patient, this patient is the 68 years old. Yeah. He's torn his supraspinatus. But you look at the quality of the tissue is different from the first patient, right? This is very bad degenerative. So this pasta I prefer to take down. Okay, the rotator cuff, make a nice microfracture because you need biologic augmentation, right? So I think the microfracture is a very simple way, right? And then the doing the cuff repair. This is a 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, yeah, and suture bridge. And we look in the joint. It's nice attachment. Okay, after surgery, yeah, and you see this is the healing of the rotator cuff after that. But that takes 6 months, yeah, of the recovery. Yeah. So if you have bad tissue, very thin tissue in elderly, I recommend to take down the rotator cuff and repair it nicely. But for the young with healthy tendon, try to save the rotator cuff because that act like the internal spring. Because once you take down the patient, when you repair, the cuff length will not the same. It's always shortened, and the patient will have delay rehabilitation. Yeah. Okay. So this is a summary for the pasta. You thinking about is that the real pasta is a fake pasta? Is that frozen shoulder with fake pasta? You don't need to do anything. Yeah. For the traumatic or the young, we try to save the rotator cuff transtendon repair. In the elderly patient, we take down the cuff and repair it. Okay, so this is the way we do pasta repair. Okay, and the compression abdominoplasty is not always. Yeah, it depends on each patient. If the bursal side tear, I think that's different. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Any questions?